Hey, I was just looking at the pictures of my recent visit to Legoland and Lego House in Billund, Denmark, where I discovered the 11 paradoxes of management, and it reminded me about this practice I've been using to help organizations make decisions. It's based on force field analysis, decision making process. It's a tool that helps people live their organizational values while deciding on where to engage in or where not to engage in. Live their product values to help them define how far or how much scope to take in or not to take in, how to design the solutions, or even department or team or even personal values to see, okay, where do I spend time in? So stay tuned, we're going to have a quick look at that. Most organizations out there don't really use their company values. If they do, they only put them somewhere on a PowerPoint, present at once, and order new coffee cups, posters, or other fine gadgets to put that values on it and forget about them afterwards. Imagine that. A long time ago I read about a different way to think about company and product strategies, which I twisted into decision-making practice along the way. It's that I want to share with you. We all know strategies help us solve problems. We look at the situation, figure out what's needed, and then execute. If you're lost in the woods, they help you get out. For example, innovate new products and test the market even over optimizing the status quo tells us to prioritize developing new products over improving old ones. If a maxim like look before you leap does not resonate with you, how you think about strategies, you're not alone. It didn't make sense to me either. But as I have practiced and reflected, I have come up with a few distinctions which are helpful. What I wanted from a strategy is prioritization and decision making. I found another way to get there, and this is where heuristics come in. Because detailed strategic plans are great if we trust them, but rapid change often means our maps are obsolete as soon as we draw them. Heuristics are simply rules of thumb which reduce the cognitive load of making a decision. They act almost like principles or values. Rather than trying to predict and force a particular future, a heuristic strategy allows me to find where I want to go, meaning I'm shifting my strategy from predict and control to sense and respond. Think of how you ride a bike. Before you set off, do you figure out the precise steering angle you need in each given moment in the uneven terrain? Nah, you just go and make thousands of micro adjustments along the way. The best strategy not only tells us what to do, but also what not to do. For example, while a strategy like delight customer tells us something, it's still not very helpful, because it's not like we might accidentally think we should piss off customers. No, and the whole point is to help us make tough decisions. Deciding between a good thing and a bad thing is easy, cake or that. But what do we do when both choices seem good? That's when strategy helps. Here is what I mean. Instead of delight customers, we go with delight customers even overselling quickly. Delight customers even over following the rules. Delight customers even if it means having less time to get new ones. In all of these examples, a hard choice has already been made, which means we don't have to think as much on the fly. The hard thing and essence of strategy is choosing what not to do. It's a bit like the practice of wicked questions within Liberating Structures toolbox. See link in the comments. Or a bit like the 11 paradoxes of management I found back in the Lego house recently. All examples given are lists of competing positives that is being put together to help making day-to-day decisions. Back in the days, me and my colleagues identified contrasting positives that helps us decide quickly, swiftly, and be flexible in our operations. We used lists as a force field analysis tools to evaluate how we operate, as well as to evaluate if and how we engage with clients. While there is value on the right side, we value the items on the left side more, riding our bikes as we go, making thousands of micro adjustments along the way. Let me give you the strategic heuristics we use. Number 1. Collaborative over autonomous. We want to be able to achieve results as an individual, walk the talk, do what we say and say what we do is great. But we prefer working as a mob and in a team, collaborating across different expertises, operating as a cross-functional team. Impactful over small steps forward. A small incremental iterative approach to change is great, but having an impact first mindset where one asks himself how their actions contribute to the goal set forward might lead to a larger flip forward or kaikaku event. Big change which is thoroughly prepared. Respectful over being the master. Being a recognized expert in one or multiple domains of product development is great, and most of us are. We don't pretend to be a superhero though. Actively listen and guide in a tough and respectful way, honoring achievements of those being mentored is what we value most. Working with volunteers, not forcing people where they don't want to be. Ownership over compliance. We adhere to policies and the rules set forward and stay within the boundaries made explicit. Challenge them where appropriate, but foremost we own the success of those we work with, feeling responsible to generate a positive impact, daring to say what one needs to hear, not necessarily what one wants to hear. Now you have seen some of the competing positives I and my fellow simplification officers use in daily life. I use those as a force field analysis tool where I evaluate options. Let's say onboarding a new client. Then we go like one contrasting positive by one contrasting positive and move sliders either to the left or to the right compared to the situation today. If we onboard that new client and how we are going to onboard the client will make a difference. By moving the sliders for each of the competing positives, decision becomes tremendously easy. I have been using competing positives in combination with force field analysis in many different settings. Product values defined as competing positives and being used for design decisions with the teams involved. Department team value setup to be used as force field analysis practice and used to make decisions on improvement options. In both examples, the sets were also used to evaluate changes in processes and organizational structure. Things become really interesting when the practice is being applied in a setting where multiple people are involved in the decision making. As now I ask each individual separate and privately to do the analysis by evaluating the sets left and or right, after which we bring the results together and have a conversation about them, putting the final results from the group into a consolidated version. These conversations truly make the values live within the organization, not only once during the yearly all hands-on sessions, but on a day-to-day basis. It clarifies the meaning, it makes things stick. And now it's time for you to get your hands dirty, build your own set of competing positives and start using those for every decision you need to make. You'll be surprised how much fun it is. And now, time for the swimming pool. Bye bye.